Hey y'all, Amanda here from Delaware. I want to share with you today about this archway. I built it, it's DIY, it costs about $30, and I think you can build one too. So I thought that this area would be an awesome place for an archway. The ceiling has an angle, and it would just kind of frame out this small hallway area. I put it out on cardboard so I could actually see the shape and make sure it looked how I was visualizing it. I create my arches a little bit different than some people. I actually put my string back further from the cardboard or wood, and then I put it center, make sure it fits on each side, and make a nice round shape. Once I got it up in place, it looked exactly how I was envisioning. I started out building the archway by getting my 1/8 inch hardboard, and I used a circular saw to cut it into 4 different pieces. I don't have a table saw, so I put it on this piece of insulation and used a straight edge piece of wood to make the cuts. I was totally here for the shape that I had already cut out with the cardboard, so I used that to make the outline on the hardboard. I always try to put safety first, so I put my respirator mask on, goggles, and ear protection. I've got links in the description for these. I tested out the jigsaw to make sure it was cutting the hardboard correctly. That can vary from using it on plywood or hardboard. I decided to cut out all 4 pieces at the same time in order that it would be exactly the same. I wasn't sure it was going to work, but y'all, it worked, and it was awesome. I was actually really impressed with how the hardboard worked for this cutout because I used plywood when I did the archways in the sunroom, and they were so fragile and hard to work with, and the hardboard was very durable. I used the miter saw to cut out pieces of framing wood to create the blocks that would actually go into the studs. I then cut out the smaller blocks that actually create the arch shape. I used a 1x4 trim piece, and this was the exact width that I needed for the arch, so I just cut a whole bunch of small blocks out. Now that the blocks were cut out, I went to work attaching the hardboard to the small blocks using my brad nailer. Okay, I'm measuring out. I already have this block up, so where to put this block, because this will go into the stud, and then I'll nail gun it and brad nail it into here. I used some heavy duty connector screws that were 3 inches long to connect the block into the stud. Okay, for my side that doesn't have a stud, I've made a bigger hole in the block, and I have this toggle bolt. I go in there, and then this end, the fastener goes on it. And basically when I put it into the wall, it's going to tighten and get a really secure fit. Okay, so now I'm holding it and I know it fits. A lot of air in there. I fastened the bolt on not too far so it could still fit into the wall. Once you start screwing it, if you put some pressure from the block, it will then secure it right in. I put up the block for the side stud that actually went into the stud, and I waited to have my arch side piece up to just make sure it was secured in the right place. And then I started using my rod nailer to secure it all in. This is such a satisfying process. I cut some extra pieces of hardboard so I could shim the arch into place, especially in that ceiling area, because I didn't want the arch to come down too low because that ceiling's only 8 feet tall. This was my first time working with drywall for an arch, and it was a lot more challenging than I thought it would be. I cut out the drywall, scored it with a straight edge, and then once you have it scored, you can bend it and snap it. To bend and snap it, you really need to have it free, so I used a drywall knife to cut it down first, and then I scored the drywall for underneath the arch. This was 1/8 of an inch drywall. I brad nailed it into place, but y'all, I was not happy with how it was so bumpy. And when I test scored it with a 1/2 inch piece of drywall, it looked great, but with the 1/8 inch, it did not. This is the part of the process where I got very frustrated, just thinking, what did I get myself into? I realized though, I didn't need to live with it in a way that I like it. So I decided to pull it down and find a different method. Since I had the underneath drywall down, I thought it would be better to actually try to put the sides up before putting that underneath part. I brad nailed it into place, and I once again got into a situation. I thought it would be easy to score while it was up, and y'all, it was not easy to score. So I took a drywall knife to it, and it was tearing up the drywall. It was not good. But I continued to go for it since I had already nailed it into place. As you can see, Mama's not happy. This is where it started to break, and because the distance from the ceiling to the top of the arch was so small, I definitely felt frustrated and stuck in this part of the process. Trying to figure out if I need to take it down, what I can do to cut it. I decided to just keep going for it and not worry about the part that was so close to the top drywall. There we go. I can laugh about it now, but let me tell you, I could not laugh about it in the moment. Learning from the first side, I decided to go at it, actually putting the drywall up, outlining it, and then cutting it into pieces to do the scoring. It worked out so well. Instead of scoring for the underneath part, I decided to try wetting it. The wetting worked out so well, it made it really pliable, and I was able to get up, and it looked way less bumpy than the first try. It was time to start mudding, and I just got my lightweight joint compound and started to put it on to get ready for taping. I put a really good layer of mud underneath the tape, and then set the tape in it, smoothed it out, and on top. I cut some slits in the tape to actually create that shape so it could go around the curve of the arch. Some people use corner bead in this process, but since I was transitioning an arch into the wall on both sides, I didn't want to have the bulk of it. So I'm just using this sponge, and before the joint compound or mud is completely dry, I'm smoothing it out. I'm trying to wet sand so I avoid having all the dust everywhere inside. As you can see, I am tired, and making an arch is just a process, y'all. For the side transitions, I used a piece of tape on the bottom part of it to make a smooth transition. I haven't really seen many professionals do this process before, so it was a little bit risky, but the result was amazing. We removed the outdated smoke detector, and then I used a patch to patch up the wall. In our home, we have some serious wall texture, and so you use this tool to create stomp texture. It's really important to wet it before using it. After many failed attempts of trying to do this texture in our home, I watched a lot of YouTube videos before this attempt. I realized the secret was to make sure that the mud was thin enough and that the brush was really saturated with water before stomping. I applied a really good amount of mud and made sure to get that texture.
All right. Right.
And here comes the fun part. I don't prefer our texture, but I would never go through the work of removing it in our home. I was so excited, I had to dance it out. I painted the ceiling portion black about 4 years ago. I was super proud of it, but I'm so happy to get the primer on and get it going towards white again with this new archway. again. So there you have the process. The arch turned out beautiful. Looks like it was already here, added so much character to our home. And now you can be empowered to go make one yourself. If you like this video, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and y'all blow aware out there.